From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News Weekend Edition.
Good evening and welcome to the Saturday edition of the Fbx Evening News. I'm Katie Looper. Our top story tonight. The legislature is convening Tuesday, and one bill being proposed would have a significant impact on the case of the Fbx Four. The men were convicted of murdering 15-year-old John Hartman in 1997, and after serving 18 years were freed after making a deal with the state. Among the pre-filed bills on Friday is one by Representative Bob Lynn that would allow people who have had a felony conviction thrown out or otherwise dismissed to be eligible to receive a permanent fund dividend check. People who have been retried and found not guilty on felony charges would also be able to get PFDs if the bill becomes a law. Lynn said he's sponsoring the legislation so the Fbx Four and any other Alaskan who has been wrongly convicted of a felony could receive dividends they missed while behind bars. Members of the Alaska Army National Guard gathered alongside community members in Bethel this past week for the activation of Alaska State Defense Force's newest unit. Under the 49th Brigade, the 2nd Signal Detachment will provide satellite communications from Bethel to the Joint Operations Center on Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson. Since 1984, the primary role of all-volunteer state defense force has been to augment and support the Alaska National Guard. Brigadier General Roger Hull, commander of the State Defense Force, said the new unit will enlarge the footprint of military service in the region and afford the opportunity for its people to serve and protect their home. He said even if the National Guard is mobilized, there would always be someone there.
There's an effort there to continue to advocate for the National Guard strongly, but to use the State Defense Force as a bridge and to involve the communities in the military ethic, the discipline that comes with that, the training that comes with that, and to then engage the communities in a way that will enhance the communities. We want to be the best friend this community has ever had. And we want to ensure that this proud military history and heritage is ongoing in this area of Alaska.
A Senate panel voted to approve Dr. Robert Califf to be Commissioner of the Food and Drug Administration earlier this week, but the nomination may face trouble on the Senate floor. The Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee approved Califf by voice vote. Despite voting to move Dr. Califf's nomination out of the committee, Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska says she will hold up the nomination on the Senate floor. Califf is the #2 official at the agency, which regulates consumer products from medications to seafood. Murkowski made clear that she intends to block Dr. Califf's confirmation until she receives assurance from the FDA that it will require mandatory labeling of genetically engineered salmon as it becomes available for human consumption.
I want to make sure that the FDA knows that voluntary labeling guidelines really is not sufficient. It doesn't comply with what is now law. And I want to make sure, very, very certain, that when we're talking about these genetically engineered fish for purposes of human consumption, that voluntary labeling is not adequate, that it is clear, absolutely clear on its face, what consumers would be getting.
Alaska continues to have one of the fastest aging populations in the country. According to the latest report from the State Department of Labor, the number of senior citizens 65 and older has grown 36% since 2010, with no signs of slowing down. The growing demographic block poses interesting questions about the future economic landscape facing the state. It has already spurred quick growth in the healthcare sector, despite the Alaska Department of Labor forecasting 2,500 net job losses for the state. Researchers said the healthcare industry is expected to hire more than 500 workers in 2016. State demographer Eddie Hunsinger said the next decade will see continued increase for the 65-plus population related to the aging of the baby boomers.
One thing that we are sure of for Alaska's population, that the next decade will see a continued increase for the 65-plus population related to the aging of the baby boomers in Alaska.
When we come back, the Autism Society of Alaska is inviting a special guest to speak to Fairbanks about her inspiring story. We'll have the details. Also, a major fundraiser is taking place next week for the Stone Soup Cafe, and nearly everyone in town is looking forward to the annual Soup Off. Those stories and more when we return. Stay with us. Welcome back. The Autism Society of Alaska is inviting Dr. Temple Grandin to Fairbanks. Dr. Grandin is a world-renowned speaker on autism and a professor of animal science at Colorado State University. In 2010, HBO made a biopic starring actress Claire Danes as Temple Grandin. At age 2, she had no speech, but after many hours of speech therapy, Grandin learned to talk. Dr. Grandin is an autistic woman who has been a leader in the lives of those affected by autism and a pioneer in improving the humane handling and welfare of farm animals and livestock industries worldwide. The local conference will be held Monday, February 29th at the Pioneer Park Civic Center and will include a full day of exhibitors, presentations, and sessions covering a variety of topics. The event will run from 9:30 in the morning to 8 o'clock in the evening. In addition to the conference, Dr. Grandin will be giving talks on February 28th and 29th. More information is available online at asagoldenheart.org.
Hope this movie is going to educate a lot of people about autism, because there's still a lot of people that don't understand autism. And autism varies from somebody might be a Silicon Valley genius to somebody that is very handicapped and nonverbal. It's a very, very big spectrum. And the movie very accurately showed sensory sensitivity problems, showed how visual thinking, and it also showed anxiety problems. And Claire Danes just became me back in the 60s and the 70s.
Arts Association is accepting entries for the 22nd annual statewide poetry contest. Fairbanks Arts is inviting people to submit their original poetry by February 1st. The contest recognizes and rewards high-quality poetry written by Alaskan residents. The winner of the statewide poetry contest are encouraged to read their poems at the celebratory literary event during National Poetry Month in April at the Bear Gallery in Pioneer Park. Authors can submit up to 4 poems not previously published. There are 4 divisions: adult, high school, middle school, and elementary, and cash prize awards up to $150. More details and guidelines are available at fairbanksarts.org. And the major fundraiser for the Stone Soup Cafe is set for next week. Monty Bowen has details in this report.
Once upon a time, there was a village where everyone was hungry. A stranger showed up and said he had a magic stone that you could put into a pot of water to make soup. Villagers tried to find things to add to the pot with the stone.
But you had a carrot, and I had an onion, and my grandmother was saving that piece of cheese rind that she was going to use, and that went in, and so did a little bit of beef that was left over there, and some turnips. And all of a sudden, there was soup, and there was soup for the village. And that's the story of Stone Soup. And it's not a magic stone. It's everybody bringing to the table what they have.
The Breadline's Stone Soup Cafe in Fairbanks will be holding its annual soup off on January 22nd at the Westmark Fairbanks Hotel.
We invite 20 restaurants to prepare their best soup. And we have judges who go around and judge, and we have the Golden Ladle Award, which is best overall. We have the best People's Choice one, so you get to vote too, which your favorite one. We have a vegetarian one this year, and we also have best use of local ingredients. Now, I'm guessing that the best use of local ingredients will be Willett House, who's making a chocolate soup. I could be wrong, but I think a lot of people are going to like that. And it's certainly going to be, maybe she makes it here, or maybe the best vegetarian.
There's also a live auction, silent auction, and dessert auction, and beer, wine, and coffee tastings.
So you can come and you can basically have dinner, a drink, an after dinner coffee, and bring something home special.
They are starting earlier than usual this year to avoid a conflict with another event the same evening.
This year, we're opening the doors at 5:30. In the past, we've always opened at 6. But we know that this year is the same night as Capitol Steps, Fairbanks Concert Association. So we're encouraging people who are thinking about going to that they come have dinner with us first and then go on over to the Capitol Steps. Don't not come to see us and don't not go to see them.
For more information about the cafe and its programs, you can go to stonesoupcafe.org online. This is Monty Bowen reporting.
That soup is making me hungry. All right, but Mike Fussel's coming up next with all your local sports action. Stay tuned.
Welcome back, Interior Alaska. Mike Fussell here with your latest local sports action. This is a big basketball weekend as teams get into the meat of their season on the hardwood. The West Valley boys were out in full force earlier today, playing at home against the Kodiak Bears. West got off to a speedy start, out-shooting Kodiak by 9 points, 14-5 by the end of the first quarter. The Wolfpack would keep pushing ahead, extending their lead to 10 by the half, and momentum would soon grow even. The Bears would outscore West 17-14 in the third frame, but were already too far behind to make it count towards a win. The score heading into Q4 saw West Valley up 43-36. The Pack would keep pushing ahead and takes it 57-45 at the final buzzer. Daniel Hornbuckle gets the game high with a tally of 18 points. The West Valley boys basketball team will be back at home Tuesday night against the Eielson Ravens. And the Wolfpack wasn't the only high school team who laced up and hit the court. The ball kept bouncing last night for day 2 of the Joe T.
High school basketball players kept it competitive for a second straight night at the Joe T tournament. The West Valley girls found themselves paired with South Anchorage. This is all a day after their striking loss to Ketchikan. So the Lady Wolfpack had its eye on redemption. And that's exactly what they would get. West down so high, 71-45. Standout Ruthie Hebert contributed 33 points with open passing lanes. The Lady Malamutes were not as lucky, though. Lathrop found itself playing catch-up to Ketchikan for a majority of last night's contest. By the half, the Mutes were down by 9 points and couldn't find a way out of the hole. LHS does not get the W against K-High, losing 53-44. Sophomore Tyra Doe cemented the most points for the Mutes, grabbing 16.
Well, we had a home tournament. We had 2 weeks of just really hard practice. We were working really hard. We knew this was going to be a big tournament, so we prepared a lot for this. We want to work the ball on the outside, and we have a height advantage over a lot of teams, so we like to work it outside, and then get it inside for the easy shot.
Well, first of all, we came out in the same mentality that we did yesterday. Great defense in the first quarter. We held them to like 7 points in the first quarter. The second quarter, what happened was we were playing great defense, and in the offense, our patience left. We was trying our best to start trying to blow them out at that point instead of taking what they give us. We're learning a lot. Played a great team tonight. They are probably number 3 in state right now.
And interior boys teams were dealt a series of losses during last night's Joe T action. The Lathrop boys also got a chance to wow the crowd at their home tournament, but would have a hard time doing so after a lackluster first quarter performance. As the whistle blew at the end of Q1, the Malamutes were down 23-9. The team couldn't muster the momentum needed to get back on top and loses it to the Ketchikan Kings 66-54. The North Pole Patriots also fell on Friday night. South Anchorage finished on top despite a 23-point game from the Pats' Kenny Peterson. South finishes with their heads high in the 63-48 win.
And the Fairbanks Ice Dogs returned home for the first time since November to host the Springfield Junior Blues. Action didn't heat up until the second period at the Big Dipper last night. Ice Dog Todd Burgess was the first to find the back of the net for either team with a goal 5 minutes into P2. The Blues would respond with 2 lamplighters about halfway through that frame, but Fairbanks' Reggie Lutz was able to even things out for the Dogs on a power play with 5 minutes left in the period. That settled the teetering tally at 2 points each heading into the final intermission. A scoring freeze raised the stakes as the game clock ticked down, but another power play would loosen up the Springfield defense. Reiner Growski takes advantage of that opportunity, netting the game winner with just 2.5 minutes left in regulation. The Ice Dogs win their first game back at home in months, 3-2. And the West Valley Wolfpack invited Eagle River to the Patty Center for some high school hockey action Friday night. The Wolfpack led 4-0 after the first frame. They would continue to showcase their dominance, tacking on 2 more goals in the second. Caleb Moretz was the team's top scorer in the blowout win. He had 2 goals and 4 assists, skating to a 6-point night. Trent Woods added a goal and 3 helpers, while Jonah Henderson contributed 3 assists. The Wolfpack has no trouble rolling to an 8-0 victory over Eagle River. And that about brings us to the buzzer for sports tonight. Katie Looper will have your full weather forecast coming up next. Thanks for checking in, and we'll see you next weekend. Welcome back to our Saturday edition. You know, everyone's back in school now up at UAF, and you know, high schoolers and down below to the smallest kids, and weather's going to be important for them.
Yeah, so next week we can expect temperatures to be around 5 degrees, so not too bad. I think it's better than what we'd normally expect around this time of year.
Right, for the waiting for the bus or out at recess, you know,
Yeah,
not too bad.
Yeah, not too bad. Let's take a look at the almanac for today, though. We had a recent high of 5 degrees, recent low 16 below. Record high got up to 52 in 2009 and a record low of 58 below in 1934. Our sun rose around 10:26 this morning and sets are at 3:38 this afternoon. Our daylight equals 5 hours and 13 minutes altogether, giving us a loss about 6 minutes. And around the state today, rain showers or snow showers in Juneau and Ketchikan, same with Anchorage, temperatures around 20 degrees. Rain showers in Kodiak at 38, cloudy skies in Cold Bay at 34. Partly sunny skies up there in Nome around 15 degrees, 5 below in Barrow with cloudy skies. And for the Fairbanks interior region, temperatures around 6 with partly sunny skies. For the lower 48 weather, rain showers in Seattle about 52 degrees, a little warmer in Phoenix at 62. Partly sunny skies in Dallas at 48, and cold temperatures in Minneapolis at 2 degrees. For our deep south area, New Orleans is about 66 degrees with sunny skies. Rain showers for Miami at 78, and then partly sunny skies in New York around 52. For next week, we can expect colder temperatures up north with snow in our western states, dry weather for the Texas region, and then showers for our deep south and Florida area, and then milder weather on the East Coast, New York area. Now back in Alaska, partly cloudy across the region, temperatures at 0 for Fort Yukon, 4 below in Barrow, and then 18 in Nome. For interior region, mostly cloudy in Delta and Healy with increasing snow, and then partly cloudy in Fairbanks, temperatures around 7 in Fairbanks, 17 in Delta, and 22 in Healy. Now on our southeast side of the state, increasing clouds across the region and temperatures at 35 in Ketchikan and 40 in Juneau. On our west side of the state, mostly cloudy in Bethel, rain likely for Cold Bay and rain for Kodiak, and temperatures in the mid-30s for Cold Bay and Kodiak, and then 20 for Bethel. Now for our south central region, mostly cloudy with isolated snow showers, temperatures in the low 20s for Anchorage and Valdez, and 31 in Homer. For tonight's forecast, 5 below, mostly clear skies, and for tomorrow, expect temperatures around 5 degrees and partly cloudy. And then it looks about that for the rest of the week. 5 degrees all week, and temperatures about 10 below, 15 below for nighttime. So it's not cold enough to, you know, cancel school or anything like that, but it's still warm.
Yeah, it's not too uncomfortable. We're already seeing that maybe a little bit warmer now, so
yeah, you just got to get the gear for it and you're good.
Exactly, prepare.
Yeah. All right, well, that'll wrap up this Saturday edition of the Fairbanks Evening News, and we're glad you could join us.
Join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11, or anytime online at webcenter11.com.
From all of us here at the News Center, have a good night and a good weekend.